Hello everyone and welcome inside the X-Gen Sports Arena here in West Seneca, New York for this ABA East Region Championship between the Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. I'm Tanner Saunders. I'll be your play-by-play voice as they're announcing the starting lineups here. Tom Prince on color, and the Buffalo Extreme, they come into this game with a 21-0 record, one win by forfeit, and that's just what the Extreme have done over their existence. They're a combined 67-4 in their existence as an ABA franchise, made it to the Final Four in April 2025, and they have aspirations of winning the national championship this year and are well on their way to achieving that goal. Most recently last week, they defeated the New England Lightning 105-71, who was ranked 5th nationally in the ABA coming into the game. But they took care of business there. And Tom, that's where I want to bring you in. Obviously, you saw the game last week with the Extreme, so just give us a little refresher of how that went for the Extreme and what kind of stuck out about them to you.
Well, what you're going to see in this game is the style of play. Two different styles of play that we're going to see here. But what the Extreme is going to do, they want to run, and run more is what they want to do. And when they're able to run, they can literally switch out 5 guys at a time and put a different team on the floor and not miss a beat. They go 10 deep, if not 12 deep is what they'll go inside this game. This team is absolutely a team that comes together. They have bought into the system. They have bought into what these coaches are doing, and they show it every single game that comes out on the floor. What they're going to need to contend with right now on the Hartford team, as you can see right there out on the court right now, is their height. So you're going to have to contend with the height of Hartford versus the speed of the Buffalo Extreme.
And talking about those Hartford Colts, I mentioned this is just the 3rd year in existence for the Buffalo Extreme. Well, this is the inaugural season for the Hartford Colts, and this year they come into this game with a 17-2 record, 2 wins by forfeit. They've won each of their last 11 games. They have not lost since December 21st when they fell 125-117 to the New England Lightning. Well, the starting lineups have been announced, and now the Extreme hyping each other up here and just about set to get this ABA East Region Championship underway. And the winner of this game will have a chance to play in the Final Four beginning next weekend all the way down in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, I mentioned the Extreme coming off a 105-71 victory. That was actually the fewest points they've scored in a game this season. Their previous low was 107 on February 7th against the Binghamton Bullets in a 107-95 win.
And in that game, Tanner, you saw towards the end of the game, the pace slowed up a little bit because you didn't need that fast-paced environment that where it was constantly where they were up between 35 and 40 points in that game and really just came and pulled it through. This is a team, I'm telling you, they are fun to watch. If you truly like basketball and like the speed that it brings, you're going to really see a fun game right out here. And you're going to see right here, no matter what happens out here, they can easily switch multiple players to come into this game. You're going to watch right there. The man that's going to lead the way for the Buffalo Extreme is going to be McCray right there. Javon McCray, 21.6 points a game. He also averages 9.4 rebounds a game. He'll be the guy to watch out for. On the Colts, watch out. It's Calvin Goodwin. He's averaging 28 points per game in the playoffs alone. In the regular season, he's averaging 29.57.
And now both teams set up at midcourt for the tip here. It's Karan Iverson and Javon McCray. And here's the tip, and we are underway. It's taken by the Hartford Colts. Now here's a kick out to the aforementioned Calvin Goodwin. Now they swing it over to the near wing. Here's a sidestep triple on the way, and that one goes down. It's Tamar Williams.
You're going to see the full court press right now. They're going to match the speed is what they're going to try to do early in this game.
Here's Fagans into the front court to Hawkins, and he goes off glass and banks it in.
Fagan averaging 12.4 points per game. He was one of the big people in the last game that came up big.
There's Karan Iverson, gets a screen being guarded by McCray. Go big on big here. Now they get it down to one of their other big men, Chase Daniels. Here's Daniels going to try and drive baseline, and a blocking foul is going to be called on the extreme here. It's on Rodney Hawkins. It's his first, team's first.
Well, you could see intense early on. There was a nice hand check, and I thought it was good defense right there by Hawkins, but you could see he went right through him. They're really battling underneath.
Here's Karan Iverson, throws up a three, won't go. Rebound, Marcus Fagan. Now Fagan will get it back in transition, driving into the paint. Fagan with the right hand finishes.
Fagan, he averages 12.4 points per game. He is big. He can shoot it from the outside. He can also penetrate just like you saw.
Here's Goodwin, gets a screen from Daniels. Now thought about it, he'll kick it over to Iverson for an uncontested wing triple, nothing but the bottom. Now on the other end, here's the extreme. They get it down low to Hawkins. Jump hook with the right hand, won't go, but there's Javon McCray with the left-handed tip-in.
He did that all day last game. He is so dangerous in the paint, especially with the putback like that.
Here's Iverson getting a screen from Daniels. Now gives it up to Daniels at the top of the key. Daniels back to Iverson. Why not try another one? That one won't go down, and the rebound is secured by Karan Dubois. Now pushing it ahead of the pack. Kicking it to the corner. Pump fake Hawkins. Now back up to Karan Dubois. He'll kick it up top to McCray. McCray gets inside, dish to the baseline at the last second to Hawkins. His shot is blocked, no foul, sticks with it. Going for the tip is McCray, and once again off the glass.
That is all heart in there. When you saw you're winning the offensive rebounds like that, it's all heart in the paint. Do you want it? You got to go get it.
Calvin Goodwin has that one stolen away by John Ivey. Now he gives it up to Karan Dubois in transition. Tried to dish it down low to McCray, and they're able to come up with the steal here. Iverson shovels it ahead. Goodwin. Goodwin finishes with the right hand in transition. And now warning against the Hartford Colts. Now Karan Dubois brings it up the floor, gives it off to Javon McCray. He'll look to back his way down in the post. Now kick to the elbow, the jumper is short. Rebound Iverson, looking for an outlet, and he'll dribble it up the floor himself. Gets a screen at midcourt from Daniels. Here's Iverson, trying to dish it in the pick and roll to Daniels, but it's broken up by McCray. Now here's Ivy, ahead Karan Dubois. Euro stepping into the lane, fouled and one.
Tanner, this pace is frantic right now. And sorry, we didn't get the replay right there for you. This pace is frantic. I want you to look right now at this teams. There are 9 players on this Hartford team. That's all they brought here to this game. When you're talking about a complete bench on the other side that goes about 13, 14 deep, we're going to see if that comes into play, especially because of the 12-minute quarters. These are much longer right out there. Can Hartford stay with this pace all game?
Karan Dubois completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Now here's Rod Jenkins dishing it down to Iverson in the high post. Now he puts up the jumper, and it's going to be a foul against Marcus Fagan.
Coaches thought they had all ball on that one. That's why you saw the extreme coaches jump up there. They were looking to be there to be able to be a ball right there as a held ball.
So now Karan Iverson will head to the free throw line for 2. First free throw, that one is short off the front of the rim. In their last game, in 18 minutes, Iverson had 27 points, 16 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And now the second free throw on the way for Iverson, it's good. Here's Javon McCray, gives it up to Ivy. Now Ivy cross court. Finding his man Karan Dubois. Now he'll give it up to Javon McCray. Here's McCray. One dribble pull up from the free throw line. Couldn't get the shooter's bounce, but ball batted around to Fagan. Now he shovels it to Hawkins. Hawkins kicks it out Ivy. He lines up the triple. He's fouled and it goes down. John Ivy, a potential 4-point play opportunity.
Ivy, the second leading scorer on the team. He averages 15.8 points per game. And that one is big. That's a momentum shift right there for the extreme.
That puts John Ivy at the free throw line to extend the lead to 6. And that one goes down. Now here's Tamar Williams. Gets a screen. Now he'll pull up for 3, and that one goes halfway down and out. Now Hawkins up the floor. McCray. McCray leaves it for Fagan. Going up with the reverse. No, but McCray's there for the cleanup. And a timeout called here early on as the lead is 8 for the Buffalo Extreme.
So they are excited. Did you see the way they came off that bench during the timeout? They exploded out on the floor. This team is pumped out here right now and showing it. The crowd's into this. I'll tell you, it is unbelievably loud here inside this complex.
No doubt about it. This is my first experience of an ABA game, and we've got a great crowd on hand. They're loud. They're into it. The public address is getting everyone into it. Just a great atmosphere to be a part of, and you couldn't have asked for a much better start from the Extreme. And Tom, you mentioned it during the pregame, Javon McCray, he's been as good as advertised, relentless on the offensive boards.
But do you see this pace? This is exactly what the Buffalo Extreme wanted. And look at what's happened so far in this game. If you look at the Hartford team, they have really shot more threes than they have inside the paint. The shots in the paint have more been in transition is what they've been. So they're out there shooting the threes. Those, as you know, may fall early in that game. Legs, tired things are going to happen throughout those games. I don't care what team you are in America. Usually, normally, the threes don't keep falling all game long. You've got to figure out a way to get down in the paint and make things happen if you're Hartford.
And out of the timeout, the Extreme sticking with the same 5 that they've had all game thus far. Meanwhile, Hartford has made a substitution. Number 10, Lenny Aconia, checks into the game.
And I like this move right here. The Stream come out in the timeout. They're going to the full court press themselves are. I want to keep this pace up if I'm Coach Gallo. Keep it right what you've been doing.
Here's Calvin Goodwin at the top of the key. Now Goodwin looking to go one-on-one, getting into the paint. Now has to kick it out to the newly checked in Aconia. Aconia dishes down low for Daniels, and he's able to finish in traffic.
And that's a good adjustment right there by the Colts. You can see right there, they did exactly what we talked about, went into the paint.
Near turnover, but instead it's saved by Fagan, and he's fouled. So Marcus Fagan looked like it was about to be a turnover there for the Extreme, but then Fagan comes flying out of nowhere to scoop up that ball and not only make something happen with it, he's got a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way. And Marcus Fagan knocks down the free throw. Here's Tamar Williams. Gives it up to Calvin Goodwin, now finding Karan Iverson on the wing. Iverson being guarded against the smaller Hawkins. Now flips this one over to the corner. Here's a three-pointer for Aconia. That one is pure.
And he turned around and looked at that bench, and he absolutely let them know that was him that hit that three-pointer right there.
Now here is Ivy. Ivy trying to finish amongst the trees here, create some space for himself, and he stepped out of bounds. He was hemmed in there along the baseline. Now here is Tamar Williams. Gonna get a screen from Chase Daniels, and he lost it. Here goes Javon McCray, and it's showtime with the left hand. McCray packs it. Now quickly up into the front court. Here's Aconia finding Iverson, getting into the paint, and he will be fouled by Hawkins. I believe that'll be his second. Then he'll put Iverson at the free throw line.
I got to tell you, McCray, University of Buffalo player. He's also a player out of Rochester High School. He actually comes out of Newark is where he comes from in the Rochester area. And not only that, Tanner, he is one of the nicest young men you ever want to talk to. He really is just a great player, passionate player, and somebody you want as a leader on your team.
Karan Iverson, free throw is no good. He went 1 for 2 his last appearance at the line. See if he can do that again here as Rod Jenkins checks into the game for Tamar Williams for the Hartford Colts. Iverson, second free throw, and he missed everything. crowd letting him hear it here. As John Ivy, the veteran, will bring it up for the extreme. Directing traffic, he'll get a screen from Hawkins. Now gets it over to Marcus Fagan. Fagan, hand off to Ivy, lets a deep three fly, and that one short off the front of the rim, but Fagan skies in for the offensive rebound, can't get the putback, and it's rebounded by Jenkins. Here's Daniels, quickly into the front court. Okonia looking for Daniels on the cut there, but good hands in the passing lane, and coming back the other way is McCray. And it looks like a foul called. The Hartford Colts wanted a travel called beforehand, not gonna get it.
Yeah, it looked like the foul is what caused the travel right there, is exactly what it was, which is the reason for the call right here. You could see, even look at McCray right there, some of his facial expressions right there. You could see he got hit, and that's what threw him off balance.
So Javon McCray at the free throw line, leaves that one short off the front of the rim. And now Hawkins is gonna check out, and John Park checks into the game.
Park had some big dunks in last game. I'll tell you, in transition, he's a very good transition ball player. Local product here from Angola also.
Javon McCray knocks down the second free throw.
Some teams that I've really seen come together.
Chase Daniels goes 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Now Jay Scarborough brings it up for the Buffalo Extreme. Here is Scarborough dancing. And now he'll drive into the paint. Oh, try to get nifty with it as he was going to the rim, but that ball is knocked out of bounds. As now Lavelle Smith is going to check into the game for Marcus Fagan. Jay Scarborough, meanwhile, inbounds it to the newly checked-in Smith. Jab step, now drives, and he had that one poked away. Here comes Goodwin back the other way. Goodwin, the hesitation, now trying to get downhill, had it poked away, and then Scarborough throws it off the foot of Goodwin, and it'll be extreme ball. Nice headsy play by Jay Scarborough.
Smith entered the game. He's averaging 10 points per game. You got 9 guys on this extreme that average double digits as far as scoring goes.
There's Jay Scarborough, give and go with Ivy. Ivy getting down low, and ball goes out of bounds. Last touch to look like by Ivy, so it'll be Hartford Colts ball. And a
media timeout
is called, so we'll keep it right here as well. 3:59 left in the first quarter. It is 31 Extreme, 18 Colts. As the Buffalo Extreme jumped out to the early lead, and they've been keeping their foot on the gas pedal thus far. Inbounding from the baseline here will be Carruthers. And he bounces it to the corner to Lavelle Smith, and Smith lost it. It is stolen by Tanksley. There goes Tanksley up into the front court. Finds the trailing Chase Daniels. Now Daniels Euro steps into the lane. It's gonna be a blocking foul against Park, so Daniels will have a chance to complete the three-point play here.
You can see as he walked right out to midcourt, he yells, "And one" right there, because he got that and he wanted that one.
And now the Colts will spend a timeout with 2:50 left here in the first quarter. And his teammates trying to keep him in check there. Obviously pumped up about that last basket, but trying to keep heads cool here. And we will step aside here, take a timeout as well as the Colts have, and we'll be back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with a location.
Back here in the X-Gen Sports Complex here in West Seneca, New York. Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. The Extreme leading 22-31. Chase Daniels just got an and one on the other side of that break, so he'll try and complete the three-point play here at the free throw line, and the free throw line has been unfriendly to Daniels, and that continues there, and then ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Extreme possession here.
I'll tell you, one of the other thing I've been real impressed with the Extreme is their smaller guys as height really go up and still are aggressive with the rebounds. Scarborough, Ivy, right? All those guys are so big still right in the paint to be able to get rebounds.
They have a pretty small lineup out there right now. Park's probably the biggest guy. He's going to pump fake, gets inside, and finishes with the right hand. John Park gets on the scoring ledger for the first time today.
Great job. You saw that lane opened up, and he went right down into that lane. He knew he was going right to the rim.
Calvin Goodwin dishes it down to Iverson, now finding Daniels. Daniels kicks it out to Mar Williams. Now he'll screen for Williams. Kicking it to the near wing. Goodwin, pump fake, one dribble pull up from the mid-range. That one too strong. Rebound is secured by Iverson. And then it's thrown out of bounds. It'll be Extreme ball.
Tried throwing it off an Extreme player. Didn't hit anybody. It went on the ground and then popped out. And you can see the Extreme is going to keep up the pace right here.
Carruthers gets into the paint. Right hand high off the glass. Won't go, but he is fouled.
A good job right there. You can see he got into the paint, especially with Daniels, with that presence down low. Got it up over him and still be able to get a chance for his points at the line.
You mentioned Javon McCray, a Rochester native. Same for Brandon Carruthers out of Rochester, New York. Played collegiately at SUNY Brockport. His first free throw is no good. Score remains 33-22 as Rod Jenkins will check in, and Goodwin heads to the bench for the Colts.
And this is what we talked about, constant subbing here by the Extreme. They want fresh legs out on there. They want to keep the pace as quick as it can.
Carruthers knocks down the free throw, and Aaron Jones checking into the game for the first time for the Extreme. Here is Jenkins, gets a screen from Daniels. Now kick to Iverson. Iverson lofting it for Daniels, and he tried to save it there to Tanksley. And it looks like a foul called there to be.
They thought Daniels thought it was getting called on him.
Yeah.
They're saying no, it was actually called right there on Scarborough is who it was.
Here's Iverson to inbound. Gets it to Daniels. Daniels, nice big-to-big passing. Looking for Iverson. That one was blocked, and then I believe Jay Scarborough stepped out of bounds with the ball there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Caught the sideline right there.
It's like an issue with the clock here. One of the officials over here getting that sorted out, but they just went back in place. Said,
hey, we got a ref over here at the table, and they started it, so that was the reason why you saw the stoppage right here.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Wrong way we play.
So they're saying 6 seconds on the shot clock.
and Coach Los, Carlos Gonzalez, is saying that the Extreme got the rebound and then stepped out of bounds, so it shouldn't matter how much time on the shot clock. And then there's one that is knocked out of bounds, trying to get it into Iverson. It's knocked out by Brandon Carruthers.
Iverson wanted the foul called on that one. Carruthers went up, made contact right there. He was looking for the foul.
There's one into Tanksley. And now a foul once again. So Tanksley will inbound in front of the spectators over on the far side of the floor there. Here is Daniels. Daniels going to drive in with the right hand, threw it off the side of the rim, and Carruthers is able to pull down the board.
Park got a piece of that. That's the reason it went off the side right there.
Here's Jay Scarborough. Scarborough into the paint. tried to finish with the right hand on the left side, and then Lavelle Smith, Scarborough, a couple chances at offensive rebounds, and it's pulled down by Tamar Williams, finding Iverson, and Iverson with a two-hand jam on the other end. Now quickly up the floor here, beautiful pass from John Park to Jay Scarborough.
But it went originally, Scarborough and Park fed him as he led right down into the lane. Beautiful feed and go right there.
Rod Jenkins gives it to Chase Daniels. Now Tamar Williams off a screen. Floater with the right hand, too strong. Rebound John Park, rifles it football style down the floor to Scarborough, looking for the touch pass to Aaron Jones. And now it's Iverson coming back the other way. Iverson to the corner. Tanksley leaves it for Jenkins, three-pointer. Off the heel of the iron, no good. Rebound by Park, and he'll take it himself in transition. Park, kick to the corner, Scarborough for Aaron Jones, three-pointer. Short and off the top of the backboard, that's out of bounds. So it'll be Hartford ball.
I'll tell you, if you're a Buffalo player, how can you not like this pace of a game that you could see Coach Gallo teaches? This has been nothing but fast pace. You know you're going to get an opportunity to score, which is why you see so many guys in double digits. It's a fast-paced game, and it doesn't stop at all.
It helps when you can go 10 or 11 deep in the rotation, too. Here is Calvin Goodwin getting a screen, working against Lavelle Smith, getting into the paint, and he meets two defenders. Now up ahead, Jones lays it in. Oh, he tried to. He couldn't get it to go at the horn. So that does it for quarter number one. Extreme leading 36-24 after one. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back with the start of the second here on Western New York Athletics.
I choose this MOS because I like to work on things, have hands-on.
Track is very important to the Army because it's a very versatile and just modular platform. There's several different variants, and that allows this one vehicle to do several different missions, and it's very important to support just the light infantry and their mission.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
And welcome back here inside the X-Gen Sports Complex here in West Seneca. It's the ABA East Region Championship here between the Hartford Colts and the Buffalo Extreme. The winner playing for the chance to go to the Final Four in Atlanta starting next week, and a fast start for the Extreme. They got out to a quick start and have not relinquished here as the lead now up to 12.
And this is the Buffalo Extreme dance team right here. They got a chance to come out the same time last game, and they're getting their chance to perform right now as well.
Just all a part of the great atmosphere here that they have cultivated. And now the second quarter, we saw Javon McCray didn't play much of the back half of the first quarter, but now he's back in for the start of the second. He's got 9 points to not only lead the Extreme, but lead all scorers, and he was a menace on the offensive boards in that first quarter. Gave the Hartford Colts a difficult time down low. And Extreme will start things out with possession to open up the second. Here is Carruthers dancing with Tamar Williams. Now gives it to Smith. Ivy thought about it. He's popped a couple threes. Now they try to get it down low to McCray in the post, but it's going to be a kick ball and out of bounds here.
Iverson punted that one. That went about 20 feet into the crowd right there.
So Carruthers will inbound. Now they move him down to the baseline. It'll be Jay Scarborough. Actually, now Scarborough gets it into McCray. McCray at the elbow, backing his way into the paint. Spins and couldn't lay it in. And now a fight for the rebound. Jay Scarborough and Karan Iverson get tied up. Scarborough, much more diminutive in stature, but he's not afraid to get dirty there amongst the trees down low. Here's Iverson now. He'll inbound, and we saw this a little bit earlier in the first quarter, the full court press, but Williams is able to spin up into the front court now, finds Iverson. Iverson whips it to the wing. Here goes Jenkins inside, off the glass, and couldn't get the fortuitous bounce, but he does draw the foul no less.
Yeah, that looked like he was going to get right there a nice little roll in and pops right out, but he still's going to get a chance to shoot his free throws right here.
Rod Jenkins has not scored yet today, can change that here, and he does, knocking down his first free throw. And second one for Jenkins is pure. Now 36-26. Carruthers on the wing, picks up his dribble. Now looking for Ivy, and Ivy went down there, and the pass over his head. And now Goodwin will inbound it here to Tamar Williams. And here goes Williams driving into the paint and able to finish with the right hand over Scarborough. Now here's Carruthers quickly into the front court, leaves it for McCray. A little jump hook won't go, and Lavelle Smith came skying in for the O board and then goes tumbling out of bounds. It'll stay extreme ball.
Tanner Everett talking to Coach Gallo, he says, a lot of games that we play, you really see a big difference in the fourth quarter because of the style of play. You gotta think that there's gonna be tired legs the way this pace has gone.
McCray with the left, you bet. Put him into double figures now with 11 as ball out of bounds. And it'll be extreme ball here to inbound from in front of our table.
Yeah, they're saying it should go back down underneath because nobody touched it. That's why they're saying it should go back down low. Not where the ball went out. See, they're saying it goes back down low because nobody touched it, so it goes back to where it was. That's why the extreme's going to be able to take it down low underneath the basket.
There's Ivy to inbound, bounces it into Hawkins. Hawkins working against Iverson, jump hook off the iron, out to Ivy. He'll let the three fly, that one too strong. And the rebound is loose. Jenkins getting on the floor for it, and eventually Tamar Williams comes away with it, but has it knocked away. Here comes McCray to Ivy. Ivy getting into the paint, won't go, rebound, knocked around, and Daniels rifles it up the floor to Goodwin. Tamar Williams, three-pointer. Halfway down and out, the tip won't go either, and the rebound, Tamar Williams. I'm gonna say it's out of bounds on the extreme. So Tamar Williams will inbound from in front of the extreme bench here. Finds Iverson, Iverson down low, and Goodwin couldn't finish in between two defenders, and McCray pulls down the board. Here's Ivy, gets a screen from McCray. Ivy into the paint, floater with the right hand, nothing but the bottom.
Well, I'll tell you, what a pace. Tanner, we've done so many games together. Have you seen a pace this long last inside any game that we've done?
Well, I'm feeling the pace myself in my lungs. I feel like I'm short of breath. I can't imagine what the players are feeling out there, but one of them will get some respite here as Marcus Fagan will check back into the game, and Jay Scarborough heads to the bench. Meanwhile, the inbound, they get it into Chase Daniels, being guarded by McCray. And Daniels gives it up to Jenkins, being hounded by Ivy. Jenkins is going to pull it from three off the iron. Rebound Daniels. And the possession stays alive for the Hartford Colts. Daniels. That ball is poked away, and it's out on Chase Daniels.
And it went off his hand. That was great defense by McCray. You could see he got his hand in there, and then it went off Daniels.
Here's the kick out to John Ivy. Wants a screen from McCray. Gets it, launches from downtown, no good. Rebound, Iverson. Here's Iverson being guarded by Hawkins, shovels it over to Jenkins. Now Jenkins bounces it down low, and there's Calvin Goodwin.
Nice no-look pass by Jenkins down low. You can see dumps it right down low and gets him a one step to be able to get that up in the rim and in.
Ivy gets a screen from McCray. Now Ivy falls to the floor. That ball is loose and it goes out of bounds. And it'll be Hartford ball. And there's our timeout. It's taken by the Colts. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Choose the twos. Get the help you deserve.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Back out of the timeout here, 8:36 left in the second quarter. And the lead still hanging around double digits for the Extreme, leading 40-30 here. They've led essentially the entirety of this game. And now Tamar Williams bringing it up for the Hartford Colts, looking to get it to Daniels. And a foul's going to be called there on the entry pass. Now Iverson will inbound it from the baseline and is able to bounce it into Chase Daniels, being guarded by McCray. Now Daniels going to try and work in the post here. This one knocked out toward the sidelines, and Fagan diving on the floor for it.
These guys look like two offensive linemen go at it inside of a football game as well, especially when they're banging down low in the paint. What a great, just a great opportunity to watch out here.
There's Tamar Williams, pull-up jumper from the elbow, missed everything, and ball out of bounds. Last touched by Williams on the shot. It'll be Extreme ball. They get it up the floor quickly to Rodney Hawkins. Now Hawkins gonna try and drive baseline, and he is wrapped up and fouled there.
I'll tell you, if he was able to get around that defender right there, it was either going to be him going to the basket or throw it up, because McCray was right there in the paint to get that one.
And I believe Karan Iverson just got teed up for delay of game.
Yeah, that's exactly what the call was. So it looks like Ivy's going to be the one who shoots him.
John Ivy, who talked a lot about McCray today, rightfully so. He's got 11 points, but John Ivy almost quietly has 9. And they get 10 as he knocks down the technical free throw. And possession, of course, will stay with the Extreme as well. Now on the inbound, they get it into Marcus Fagan. Here's McCray, left alone at the free throw line, spinning inside with the left hand. An offensive foul called against McCray.
And you hear the boo birds, but I'll tell you, it was good defense by Daniel. Daniel had positioning on the 4, and you saw the spin right there. The minute the spin, he actually makes huge contact right there with Daniels down in the paint.
And Coach Gallo was given the official that made the call an earful as he was coming down the floor. Here's Iverson, a couple steps from beyond the arc, and he drills it to silence the crowd. Now coming back the other way, picking up the dribble at the free throw line is Dubois. He'll get it right back on the wing. And trying to spin away from Goodwin there. McCray gonna extend the range. Couldn't get that one to fall, on the long rebound secured by Daniels. Gets it to Tamar Williams. Williams shovels it out to Iverson. Why not? That one too strong off the iron that time. A heat check there for Iverson won't fall, and Fagan pulls down the rebound. Shovels it off to Ivy. Ivy getting the screen from McCray, now bounces it to him in the pick and roll, to the rim with the left hand. It's blocked, but he sticks with it, and the follow won't go, and it's rebounded by Iverson. Up the floor quickly, Williams. Now Williams will get it right back. He's going to take it downhill with the left. Tamar Williams.
Nice passing right at midcourt right there. Way to move the ball up so that you can easily get the open lane right there to the basket.
Ivy doesn't have the answer on the other end. Now Fagan shovels it back over to Ivy, and Ivy, that's going to be kicked out of bounds once again by Iverson, so it'll stay extreme ball. And they inbound it to Karan Dubois, being guarded by Calvin Goodwin. Dubois goes behind the back, gets it to McCray. Oh, nice post-entry pass to Hawkins, and he can't finish through contact, but he does draw the foul.
Great positioning right there by Hawkins. You can see there was no defender between him and the basket. McCray gets that down low. They did not have any opportunity but to foul him, or that would have been points right there for the Extreme.
And still a chance for it to be points at the free throw line. Hawkins' first one goes halfway down and out. And the second free throw is good. Now the inbound here is Goodwin, and that one is poked away nearly by McCray, but Goodwin able to save it. Now shovels it back to Tamar Williams.
McCray doesn't hit that. He's got a direct lane right to the basket, too.
Here's Iverson, now directing traffic, standing back at midcourt. Iverson looking to dance with McCray. Iverson getting into the paint with the left. Couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound, and this one's going to be batted out toward the sideline where Dubois has it. Now bounces it over to Ivy. Ivy ahead in the front court to Hawkins. Lets the three fly halfway down and out. Offensive rebound, and that one is blocked. What a play by Rod Jenkins. Now Tamar Williams is fouled in transition and goes careening into the fans there in the baseline, but luckily everybody came out of that unscathed. So Tamar Williams will head to the free throw line. The foul's against Marcus Fagan.
That was close to being some sort of a flagrant foul right there, that push there as he was going up, but they don't call it.
And now Tamar Williams will head to the free throw line, knocks down the first. And Lenny Okonya will check in once again, and Iverson heads to the bench. Tamar Williams, meanwhile, second free throw, no good, and it's rebounded by Fagan. And then Tamar Williams is going to get hit with a foul as he was trying to grab his own miss. Here's Ivy, gets to the wing. Now he's going to get downhill with the right hand, John Ivy. He's shown off the three-point shooting prowess today, but how about that finish?
Great job to get in the paint. He had the perfect angle right there from the right side.
Now Goodwin back the other way, talking about finishing in the paint. That's what Goodwin does there.
That's the one guy the Colts have to start getting hot if they're going to get into this game.
Karan Dubois had that one poked away. Now Chase Daniels will carry it up the floor in transition, finding Okonya, and he'll just pull it out and get into a more deliberate set. Here's Tamar Williams, spins into a three-pointer. That one won't go down. Rebound, Marcus Fagan.
I think you're going to see some substitutions. You're starting to see a little bit tired legs out there for the Extreme, and it looks like we got a couple guys that are about to check in for them.
John Ivy gets a screen from McCray, now crosses over. Ivy high off the glass, and looked like that one might have been tipped in by McCray.
Yeah, but if they say that's a tip in, I think that was in the cylinder. I don't think they're going to say it's a tip. It's going to go to Ivy.
Here's Aconia. He's going to try a three on the other end. Off the iron, but the offensive rebound goes to Chase Daniels. Kick out. Kelvin Goodwin has all day to check the wind, and he left the three short. Maybe too much time there on the triple attempt. There's Ivy being guarded by Jenkins. Now Ivy kicks it to Dubois. He'll post up. Now the fadeaway jumper, no. And the rebound snared by Goodwin. Here's Goodwin, the crossover, and the foul taken by Ivy.
And that's a good foul by Ivy, because if he doesn't foul him right there, it's a clear path right to get some points. They'll take their timeout, and you're going to see some substitutions come in for them after that.
And we'll see who that is after this break. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
I choose this MOS because I like to work on things, have hands-on.
Track is very important to the Army because it's a very versatile and just modular platform. There's several different variants, and that allows this one vehicle to do several different missions, and it's very important to support just the light infantry and their mission.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take.
Welcome back here inside the XGen Sports Complex. Here for this ABA East Region Championship between the Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. The lead down to 8. It's been hovering around double digits for most of the day, but Hartford hanging around here, and they'll have the possession out of the timeout, and they get it into Iverson. Now down to Daniels in the post. Here is Daniels into the paint with the right hand. The jump hook won't fall over John Park.
I still like the positioning down low. They're trying to take advantage of the paint with McCray out. I do like that move right there coming out of the timeout for the Colts.
Carruthers gets to the rim but couldn't get the finish, and the rebound is pulled down by Tanksley. Here's Iverson. Looks it off to Goodwin. Now Daniels down low. Aconia, what a tough finish.
I'll tell you, one of the things we heard, we're right next to the Colts bench. They were saying, listen, these guys are tired. We got to take advantage of it. And they were talking about that in their huddle right there. And you could see there needed to be some substitutions by Buffalo.
Aaron Jones knocks down a triple. Now here's Tanksley. Little kiss off the window. Can't get that shot to fall. Now Fagan looking to push in transition. Rodney Hawkins, it's off his hands and into the hands of Iverson. Here's Tanksley. Daniels, Euro stepping in. And offensive foul on Chase Daniels.
I know Daniels didn't like that call, but that was absolutely a charge right there. You could see he had perfect positioning, didn't even move. His feet and everything were set inside that paint area.
Looks like there's an issue with substitutions. Can't right now. Now there's Park inbounded to Jones, and Hartford trying to take a play out of the Extremes playbook with the full court press, but they're able to weather the storm there. Now here is Jones, whips a pass into Hawkins. Hawkins, little fadeaway jumper. That one is pure.
Big shot by Hawkins.
And now a steal. Here's Fagan with the shot, no, and the rebound to Calvin Goodwin. Now Goodwin into the paint, and it's a blocking foul against John Park.
Great spin move by him to get inside that paint. Did you see the spin to be able to create separation and get down? And I'll tell you, as he made contact with Park, I don't know about you, Tanner, but it almost looked like Park was already falling down before that contact happened, and that's the reason why the block happens.
So Calvin Goodwin will head to the free throw line. And Goodwin, his first free throw is good. Maybe instead of calling him Calvin Goodwin, I should call him Mr. Quad Dub, because that's what he had last game in the ABA East Regional Final Four against the Delaware Dogs. 31 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals. So he knocks down the second free throw. Now here's Aaron Jones, splits through a double team, it's poked away. Here comes Calvin Goodwin back the other way, and Goodwin is fouled there, and there's also some extracurricular activity tied up behind the play. Jenkins and Fagan got tied up.
They're going to call the foul on Jenkins right there, so it's going to stay right now at the extreme, and that was going to be a turnover with possible points on the board right there. They're talking this one over. Do they switch it?
Oh, they just gave a
No, they called the technical.
Yep,
They're calling on somebody else. They're calling that on 10 is who they're. Oh no, 0. They said 0 is who it's on.
Yep, on Marcus Fagan.
No, Goodwin, isn't it? Not on Fagan. They're calling on Goodwin.
I think they are calling it on Fagan.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. As you can see, that was actually Goodwin going to the line to shoot him.
Fagan and Jenkins got tied up behind the play. I think that's where the technical stemmed from. Here's the free throw. It's good for Goodwin. And the second free throw is good for Goodwin. Now here's the inbound for Aaron Jones to Carruthers. And Carruthers going to get the screen from Park. Now driving inside, Carruthers gets tied up and fouled. Foul's going against Fagan. Excuse me, not Fagan. They call it on Calvin Goodwin, so that puts Carruthers at the line. He went 1 for 2 his last appearance at the charity stripe, and he'll knock down the first.
Tell you, both coaches desperately want to get in the ear of either ref right there.
And Jay Scarborough's coming in. Fagan heads to the bench.
I gotta tell you, I do think the refs are doing a good job of keeping this game under control. They really are.
Second free throw, Carruthers going 2 for 2. And here is Goodwin. Goodwin finds Iverson, and he's going to walk into an uncontested triple. Couldn't get it to fall, but the rebound is tapped out to Rod Jenkins. Goodwin, Iverson, he'll try again. Left that one short this time, and the rebound by Jones. Jones lofting it up Carruthers. The touch pass ahead, and Hawkins saved it, and then it's knocked out of bounds. And it'll be Hartford ball. Iverson brings it up. Under 2 minutes left in the half. Iverson gets a screen from Tanksley. Now kicking it over to Jenkins. He's going to try the baseline drive. Has to pull up, and he nails it.
Almost an in-one opportunity right there as well with Jones on him.
Aaron Jones bringing it up. Gets a screen from Park. Now goes baseline. Tried the reverse and hit the bottom of the backboard. Now here comes Iverson in transition. Iverson, good look underneath Aconia, and he lays it in. Lenny Aconia, now here goes Aaron Jones. Lobs, Park throws it down. Jones with the alley and Park with the oop for the play of the day thus far.
We saw that last game, and I'll tell you, that was a perfect job.
And then John Park pulls down a rebound on the other end. Here's Scarborough with a little nifty dribble. Now splits a double team. Scarborough, Euro, kick out Park. Does he have a three in him? No. And the rebound is tapped to Aconia. Now here goes Goodwin. Calvin Goodwin, the crossover, getting into the paint. Right hand, the floater over Park. Won't go. Offensive rebound is good. I believe that was Iverson.
It was Iverson, a great putback. And you can see, I'll tell you, one of the great adjustments by the Colts is what they've done in the paint and the offensive rebounds right there.
And now here's a chance. Goodwin to beat the buzzer. Pull up three. Bang! Calvin Goodwin with the buzzer beater to quiet this crowd as we head into the half. Wow, what a late rally there by the Hartford Colts. They cut the lead down to a possession heading into halftime.
Good one. Blew a kiss to the crowd on that one. Got him even more energized. But I'll tell you, it was the defense of the Colts and the steals that got them back into this game. You saw how many steals happened right here at half court that they turned around, transition buckets to the other side, and that's the reason why this is a close game right now.
We've got a good second half on our hands here coming up in the ABA East Region Championship. And of course, the winner of this game earns the right to play in the Final Four next weekend in Atlanta. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll recap that first half, the scoring and all that, and get you set for the second half of this ABA East Region Championship between the Extreme and the Colts here on Western New York Athletics.
Need an electrician? Empire Electric is your residential wiring specialist. New builds, service upgrades, lighting, generators, you name it, Empire does it with hundreds of 5-star reviews that speak for themselves. Call Empire Electric today for your free estimate.
I choose this MOS because I like to work on things, have hands-on.
Tracker is very important to the Army because it's a very versatile and just modular platform. There's several different variants, and that allows this one vehicle to do several different missions, and it's very important to support just the light infantry and their mission.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Choose the twos. Get the help you deserve.
If a picture's worth 1,000 words, and you only get one chance to make a first impression, then your professional image is pretty important to your career success. Hi, I'm BJ Stack, owner of Stack Studios, proudly introducing Headshots by Stacks. Did you know that according to LinkedIn, profiles with professional headshots get 21 times more views and 36 times more direct messages? That's a lot of attention. And with a Headshot by Stacks, you can be sure that your image will be the talk of the corporate town. Every Headshot by Stacks goes through a 3-step editing process. We whiten teeth, we erase blemishes, we soften shadows, we even change out backgrounds, just to name a few. So your headshot makes a first impression that lasts. And with our headshot packages starting at just $99, it's never been more affordable for you to look your best. So, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, what are people saying about you?
Welcome back here inside the X-Gen Sports Complex here. It is halftime of this ABA East Region Championship between the Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. Right now, thanks to a buzzer beater 3 at the horn from Calvin Goodwin, the Hartford Colts have cut this down to a one-possession game. This was 36-24, this game after one in favor of the Extreme, but the Colts took that second quarter 29-19. They still find themselves down on the scoreboard. And just to recap the scoring for both teams, the aforementioned Calvin Goodwin led the Hartford Colts with 13. Also in double figures was Karan Iverson with 11. Chase Daniels and Tamar Williams each had 8. Lenny Aconia chipped in 7 off the bench. Rod Jenkins had 4, and Devon Tanksley had 2. Meanwhile, for the Extreme, they were led by John Ivey, 14 points. Javon McCray had 11 and also was causing havoc on the boards, as you would expect him to do. 7 points for Marcus Fagan, 6 for Karan Dubois. Hawkins and Park each chipped in 4. Aaron Jones and Brandon Carruthers had 3, and Jay Scarborough had 2. Now, Tom, looking ahead to the second half, you have to feel good if you're Hartford, the fact that you were able to erase a double-digit deficit and cut it down to a one-possession game at halftime. But for them, I think one of 2 big concerns is just the lack of bench depth. I mean, for the Extreme, I feel like going on in this game, it favors them when you can go 10, 11 deep and constantly put fresh legs out on the court, where Hartford, they just don't have that luxury because they don't have that many bodies here. Not to say that the players they have on the bench, aren't capable. They're good players. They just don't have many of them available tonight.
See, I agree, and that was what we talked about coming into the game. But I'll tell you, from the middle of that second quarter, they turned that into an advantage for them, where it was tired legs over on the Buffalo Extreme. We said it in their huddle. They were yelling, they're tired, we got to run. And when they did that, they really picked up their defensive intensity. And there were so many steals, even right here at midcourt right there, to get the steal and then take it into transition for easy buckets. Or you saw how many times did we say, yeah, that was a good foul, because they were going to go right into the paint, right to the glass. So it was either them getting to the free throw line or they were absolutely making things happen because of their defense. The other adjustment that they made is they were getting beat on the rebounds, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, and that changed in the second quarter as well. If the Buffalo Extreme is going to win this game, they've got to get back to what they saw inside that first quarter in the first part of the second quarter. And flip it for Hartford, they got to keep doing what they just did at the end of the second quarter.
And something else I think is worthy of keeping in mind.
Oh, we got an altercation right now, and it looks like with
Ivy's in there, being surrounded.
No, yeah, I think it's with a fan is what it is.
Well, that's a good segue to what I was about to say. Is we saw emotions get high in that second period. We saw some technicals thrown out to both teams. That's something that I was going to mention. We just, during the break, were exchanging pleasantries with Hartford assistant coach LeVar Mitchell, and he said, I got to be the calm to the storm, referring to trying to keep heads cool and keep emotions in check. And right as I was about to say that, we see a ruckus going on.
Yeah, I don't see. I think it was with a fan is who it was. And it was almost the entire Colts team that was over there. In fact, the Colts owner also went over there to help break everything up. Thank God nothing happened. I just think it was a lot of verbal stuff that went back and forth right here. And also the owner of XGen is also in over there as well. So both owners absolutely got in there to be able to make something happen.
Now Coach Gallo is over there talking to Coach Gonzalez and some members of the Colts team.
Yeah, are they removing a fan now? They are. They're removing a fan.
Yep. Well, luckily here, cooler heads prevail, and we don't have the ABA equivalent to Malice at the Palace. Nobody wants to see that. We got everything all set here, and
yeah, some of those things can get out of hand, but you got to give everybody credit on how it was handled. Things are calm right now, but obviously you could see the tensions are high. This is a spot for the national championship. 4 of you get a chance throughout the country to go down to Atlanta to be able to make something happen, and there is no doubt that tensions are high, especially when you're talking about a close game like this.
And I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Extreme, they made it to the Final Four in April 2025, and obviously both these teams have aspirations of winning the national championship. And with the Buffalo Extreme coming into this game 21-0, the Colts coming in 17-2, both are well on their way to achieving that goal. This is just the next step in the journey.
One of the things that when I talked to the coaching staff of Buffalo Elite, they all said one thing that can happen here, it looks like we've added another ref.
Yes, he was not
so
there.
We've just added another ref into the mix. You almost wonder, like, hey, listen, can we get some help right here? Are we going to see a third ref now for the game, which is going to be interesting? But what I was going to say was what they told me, the one thing that they had to make sure didn't happen is when the Hartford team goes on runs, they can really take over a game. It's exactly what we saw here at the second quarter. So the question is, did they withstand that run to be able to keep the lead, or does this run still keep happening for the Hartford Colts?
As I mentioned, overall in the quarter, the Colts won the second quarter 29-19 after being down by 12 at the end of the first.
So we are going to see a third ref right now. So they're going to finish now the second half with a third ref.
Can't say I've ever seen that before, where we add an extra official at halftime, but we'll take it.
And it looks like we're going to see the entire original starters come back out here for the Extreme. I'm sure we're probably going to see the same thing here for the Colts. We haven't really seen who's coming out yet.
And it is the original starting 5 for the Hartford Colts. A little turbulence there at the end of halftime, but everybody's no worse for wear, and we're set to get the second half underway. It's a one-possession game, but I'm sure both these teams at this point are viewing it at 0-0 here, as Ivy will start things off in this second half for the Buffalo Extreme. Ivy picks up his dribble, now gives it up to Hawkins, gets it right back on the dribble handoff. Now Ivy bounces it in the post to Dubois, fading away. knocking down the jumper.
Big shot. Good right there. That's one of the first times we've really seen either team get into a half-court set like that. Great job by Du Bois to find the open space to be able to get those points.
Calvin Goodwin walks into a three. That one a little off center and out of bounds. It'll be extreme ball.
I think the Colts are saying that's not the shot we wanted to come right out of halftime right there. We want to be able to find ourselves a good shot to be able to keep momentum on our side.
Here's Ivy feeding it to McCray. Now he's looking to post up. Kick out Ivy into a screen from Hawkins. Now kick to Du Bois on the wing. Gets into the paint. Little scoop layup. Couldn't get it to go, but it's tapped in by McCray.
He does what we saw in the first quarter. That was his strength. That's where his points came from, and he does it again.
Here's Tamar Williams trying an underhand layup of his own. Ball goes out of bounds.
Went off Du Bois' hands, though. That's going to stay with the Colts.
Tamar Williams to inbound. Or excuse me, that was Goodwin. He finds Tamar Williams, who cans a three.
That's a big shot. You can see they set him up right over in the corner over there.
Puts Tamar Williams in double figures now with 11. Still a one-possession game, a three-point lead for the Extreme. Here's Ivy dishing to McCray on the baseline. Reverse, no, gets his own miss, and putback won't go, but he is fouled.
But this is reminiscent of what we saw in the first quarter. We saw right there McCray do everything in the paint. He's the one who owned the paint. But then in the middle of that second quarter is when we saw him get a little bit tired right there, and that's when the Colts took advantage. McCray's got to get back to owning the paint, owning everything down there and doing what he's doing.
And it helps to be able to knock down free throws. He went 1 for 2 his last time at the line. He's going to knock down the first. And now McCray, second free throw is good. There's Goodwin being guarded by Du Bois. Now he'll get the screen from Chase Daniels. Kicks it over to the far wing. Now here's Tamar Williams. His jump shot is pure. It's a long two.
Did that right over the outstretched hands of McCray right there too. That's a big shot right there to be able to keep this game right where it is.
Rodney Hawkins, he'll face up and go for the mid-range jumper. He can't hit it, but Marcus Fagan's got his back with the cleanup.
And Fagan, he's one of those smaller players that we said is so dangerous on the boards. He literally averages 11 rebounds a game, is proving it right there again.
Jenkins answers with a three on the other end. There's a foul called down on underneath the basket here. It'll be extreme ball, and again a full court press look here from the Hartford Colts. Ivy finds Hawkins. Now Hawkins whips it up into the front court to Marcus Fagan. Hands it back Ivy. Now Ivy, little screen there from Fagan. Dribbles to the top of the key, now gets a screen. Here's the jumper for Ivy. Banks it off the glass, and it's a long two for John Ivy.
Boy, the shooters both ways shooting over outstretched arms right there. That's when you know they are locked in right now on both sides of the court.
Tamar Williams, that one is stolen by Marcus Fagan ahead of the pack. Here goes Fagan, he packs it with two hands.
That's what we saw in the first quarter. Defense, transition, those are the things that be able to got the lead. That's what we saw right there by the Extreme.
Tamar Williams gets it to Iverson. Being guarded by Hawkins. Now they work it over to Williams on the wing. Gets inside. Tamar Williams with the right hand. Too strong. Rebound Daniels. Bounces to Tamar Williams, who relocates to the corner for three. No good. Rebound Hawkins. He throws it away to Iverson. Underneath. And a foul. Count it for Calvin Goodwin.
Boy, that's right there where you show, no matter what, you don't stop with your hands. Don't stop on your defense. Constant movement right there, and that's the reason why those hands were ready to go, knocked down to be able to get that steal, keep the ball on your side of the court, and then get some points.
And Calvin Goodwin to complete the three-point play. And he does just that. Here's Du Bois. Giving it back to Ivy. And now Ivy looking to drive, and he'll just pull up for the jumper instead. That one off the front of the rim, and there's the tip for Rodney Hawkins. Now back the other way, Jenkins gets the layup.
That's the one thing the Extremes got to get back there on defense. That's not where you can allow somebody to go straight down into the lane right there.
And a timeout was called. Looks like Fagan
No, I think they're calling a technical.
T.
Yeah, Fagan came back saying this is going to be a technical foul, and it's exactly what was called.
And there you go, the timeout comes anyhow off the technical, so we will take a timeout as well. Still a one-possession game, 69-66 Extreme. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back here inside the XGen Sports Complex here in West Seneca, New York. ABA East Region Championship between the Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. There's a technical against Hartford on the other side of that break, so that's going to put John Ivy at the free throw line for one, and he is able to knock that one down.
They're going to go to the opposite side of the court now. They're going to take it back out down low, so they just shot the technical, but need to take it back out down low.
And Hawkins will inbound to Ivy. Now they get it over to Fagan. Back to Ivy, and he gets trapped there at midcourt, but is able to find the outlet in Marcus Fagan. Fagan back to Ivy. Swing it over to Dubois. He'll get the screen from McCray. Now goes behind the back, splits through a double team. Floater, no, left it short, and then McCray on the offensive putback attempt is blocked, and then the ball is thrown off a player and eventually goes out of bounds along the near sideline here, and it'll stay with the Extreme.
What a great job by Dubois to split the defenders and get inside the paint for that open shot right there.
And he inbounds to McCray. McCray gets into the paint with the right hand. The soft touch, he gets the bounce.
It was a no call right there. You were wondering if that was going to go against either one of them, but they make it a no call.
Jenkins out to Iverson, over to Chase Daniels. Daniels into the paint with the right hand, can't finish, rebound Hawkins.
Daniels tried to do the same exact thing that McCray did on the other side, just couldn't finish it.
And now Javon McCray on the other end, getting the paint. That one is blocked, and it is secured by Daniels, and now he gets tied up, and it looks like fouled. And now some substitutions coming in. Dubois heads to the bench. Lavelle Smith checks in. And Lenny Aconia, as well as Devon Tanksley, checking into the game for Hartford. And Iverson barks out the play call from midcourt. They're going to go one-on-one with Hawkins. Here is Iverson into the paint, lost it on his way to the cup, and now it's in the hands of McCray. Taps it over to Ivy. Ivy bounce pass in transition, stolen, and here is Iverson. Cherry picking ahead of the pack. He throws it down with the right.
But again, it's the defense comes up big right there as that ball got knocked away, and they took advantage of it, the Colts.
Here is Fagan over to Ivy. Now Ivy showing off the dribble moves on the wing. Kick to the corner. Hawkins lines up the jumper off the iron. Rebound to Konya. Ahead to Calvin Goodwin. Goodwin thought about pulling up. Now he leaves it for Aconia. Aconia on the drive. Left it short. Rebound Tanksley. He is fouled.
Yeah, you can see he got knocked as he was going to head up there. It's going to go against Ivy. You did just say Smith gets in the game. We had a Western New York Athletics high school dinner that was just done last week. We gave Bill Russell the Lifetime Achievement Award in that one. Bill Russell actually coached Lavelle Smith in high school out there, and we got a chance as he's sitting in the front row right out here as well.
First free throw off the front of the rim for Tanksley. And now John Park is going to come back into the game. Boy, he had the play of the day in the late stages of the first half with an alley-oop from Aaron Jones.
Boy, the ref gave him an earful as he came into the game. I don't know if you saw that. He gave him some sort of warning.
Second free throw is no good. Iverson tried to save it. He was unable to do so along the baseline. And now Hawkins to inbound it here quickly. Finds John Park, finds Lavelle Smith. Here is Smith into the paint. No, and a foul called.
He may have got poked in the eye right there. You can see as he actually puts the jersey in going at his eye. You wonder if he got poked right as he went up.
Either way, he looks to be no worse for wear, and Lavelle Smith will head to the free throw line. He has yet to score.
I think they just said that's the 5th foul right there. That's the 5th foul on Daniels, and that's why you're seeing him come out of the game.
And Jaquan Rogers is going to check in for the first time today. Meanwhile, Lavelle Smith missed the first free throw.
This may be the smallest lineup we've seen by the Colts so far. So they're going to want to run right now. The question is, can Hawkins, McCray, and Park, as big as they are, do stuff down in the paint right there with their height?
Up ahead, Calvin Goodwin, the lob, and that one was broken up, but they keep possession here. This is Goodwin looking to drive. Now doubles back out towards the wing, kicks it over to Iverson. Here's Iverson dishing it down low to Rogers. And a foul is called on Lavelle Smith on the floor. Here's Goodwin to inbound, finding Iverson. And Iverson spinning here, trying to create some space, goes for the step back jumper over McCray, missed everything, and is there a late foul called there?
And he's down over there. McCray's down. But I'll tell you, Colts coach, look at that, runs over and helps out a player. That's true sportsmanship right there. But this should be 3 right here. He's going to be shooting. So what he said was he landed and went through him, so it's not a shooting foul is what they just said.
Yep. Here's the inbound. They get it to Iverson. Now Iverson swings it over to Aconia. Lets the 3 fly. It's a little bit short. Offensive rebound, and now kick out. Looks like there's going to be a violation called there against the Colts. Double dribble the call, so turnover, and it'll be extreme basketball coming back the other way, holding on to a 5-point lead. Here's Ivy, gets it down low. McCray working against Iverson. McCray with the left, counted, and a foul.
Some of the moves he's got inside the paint is something you'd see from a guard. And I'll tell you, when he gets those outstretched arms to be able to go outside to make sure a defender can't touch it and get it up off the glass, that's exactly what you see. What a great job there by McCray.
Jay Scarborough is going to check in for John Ivy. Meanwhile, here's Javon McCray at the free throw line. McCray, it's good.
Boy, he's been making his free throws, which is huge as well, especially when your big man can do that.
Aconia dribbles it up into the front court for the Colts. Aconia looking, hands it off to Goodwin. Now Goodwin looking to dance with the big man, Park. Here goes Goodwin, gonna blow by him into the paint and gets fouled on his way to the rack.
Oh no, they're saying it went out of bounds. Colts were looking for a foul on that. They don't get it though.
Jay Scarborough whips a pass underneath Hawkins, and he takes a step to the right, goes up with the right hand, can't finish. Now sticking with it, ball's loose on the ground, and Lavelle Smith hustling for it. Eventually, Goodwin comes away with it, and now it's loose at midcourt, and it's taken by Jay Scarborough. Scarborough to the corner, now driving baseline, feeding to Hawkins. He finishes.
That's the pace right there. That's the active hands that we talked about. Both teams with so much intensity out there on the court.
Rogers to Tanksley, now kick out. And the whistle blown over there on the far side of the floor by one of the officials. Foul against the Extreme. Now Javon McCray is going to head to the bench.
Golda right now, it's the first time we've seen him inside the game.
And John Ivey is going to come into the game. Rodney Hawkins coming out, and timeout with 4:05 left in the third. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Education has power. Binghamton University students discover it, apply it, unleash it. Unleash your education today.
Need an electrician? Empire Electric is your residential wiring specialist. New builds, service upgrades, lighting, generators, you name it, Empire does it with hundreds of 5-star reviews that speak for themselves. Call Empire Electric today for your free estimate.
Welcome back here inside the XGen Sports Complex, host of this ABA East Regional Championship between the Extreme and the Hartford Colts. Here's the Colts on offense. There's a pass down low intended for Tanksley. It's broken up. Now Jay Scarborough coming back the other way for the Extreme. Nearly lost it. And now Scarborough dishing it to the newly checked in Golda, and he makes his presence felt immediately.
So down in the paint, you can see we talked about it. This was a smaller lineup, and you can see right now we're going to see Daniels check back in. Because of that, they need him down in the paint.
Scarborough and Aconia get tied up, and now there's some extracurricular activity between those two. Some words exchanged after the play. And it looks like the foul is going to be charged to Jay Scarborough.
And that was. Now the question is there a technical also being called?
Doesn't look like at the moment. Oh, well, there we go.
Okay,
Double
so they're
tag.
doing doubles. Okay.
Yep. I believe they got Scarborough for something he said after the play, and then
that may have been why he got up the push right there.
That's what they pinched Aconia for, was the push after the play.
So it was just one technical on 10. No, there's two. There's two. Four black.
And still explaining to the Hartford sideline. 2 techs called, one on each team, one on Scarborough and one on Aconia.
Yeah, it shouldn't be anybody shooting. It was a double technical, and the foul that's out on the court is not a shooting foul. So to me, it should be the Colts get the ball right now is what they're going to get.
And now through all that, we'll get a substitution, and the size of Chase Daniels coming back into the game for Hartford, although Iverson heads to the bench, and he's no small guy himself. This one lobbed in to Daniels, being guarded by Scarborough, and he's going to try and take advantage. He kicks it out to Tanksley, straight away triple, missed everything.
And that may be the loudest the crowd has got since the first half right here.
Here's Jay Scarborough. Scarborough gets inside, underhand with the right, and he is fouled.
That should be 6 right there on Daniels. So he's only got one more, and we still got another quarter to go. That's something to be very cognizant of right now. Iverson's going to need to get in right now, and you know he's going in for Daniels.
Yep. And they're getting the explanation for the foul on the Hartford sideline, and everyone involved in that conversation incredulous. Daniels, Coach Gonzalez, as Iverson will check back into the game. Daniels with his 6 personals heads to the bench, and of course 7 the limit.
Scarborough did make his first one right here.
Jay Scarborough, second free throw is good. Now here is Iverson trying to post up against Scarborough. The dish down low to Laconia. He lays it in.
Nice job cut into the paint right there by Laconia. And you also saw great feed from Iverson.
And now ball goes out of bounds. They're over on the far side of the court, down around the baseline. It'll be extreme ball here. Jay Scarborough to inbound. Scarborough gets it into Ivy. Ivy gets a screen from Golda. Little between the legs dribble. Now Lavelle Smith coming away with the ball, and it looks like another foul is going to be called.
And now we're going to see that's going against Golda. He just got teed up. Golda went right up into him, and Golda's the one who got teed up on that one.
Double techs again. Golda, as we mentioned, picked up a tech, and then Rod Jenkins picks one up as well.
And Jenkins is upset. He's saying he didn't do anything right there. We saw Golda make the initial contact, but again, ref is right there. Is something being said that's triggering these things right out there? That's what we don't know.
But what I do know is in the second half they've been, and even since the late stages of the second quarter, they've been giving out teas like Halloween candy. And through all that, a 30 called, so we'll keep it here. As the emotions starting to get the better of these two teams, seeing some chippiness after the plays.
Well, we knew this was going to happen, Tanner, especially with the way it started at halftime. The end of halftime, just think of how it started.
Yeah.
So we knew this second half was going to be intense. We really did. But what we said, at least for the extreme, they had to come out right now and match what they did in the first quarter. We saw that exactly happen for the extreme right here. We saw them come out, getting the stuff done in the paint, doing what they needed to do right there. What's happening right now, though, is nobody, I don't care whether either his bench is absolutely right now enjoying any of these fouls that are being called. Every single foul is being talked about or contested with the refs.
Now after another double tech, Jay Scarborough will inbound from the sidelines there over on the far side of the floor. Here's Ivy finding John Park. John Park pivoting in the paint now, goes underhand with the right and scoops it up and in.
Almost did that blindly right there. He just knew where he was on the court.
And now here's one that's knocked into the backcourt, and Scarborough goes flying after it, trying to save it. Couldn't quite get there.
Scarborough almost got that steal, but I do like this move here by the extreme, going to a full court press. You've got the advantage right now. You're trying to get some steals.
Here is Goodwin looking for Iverson, and he lost it. Here goes John Ivy. Ivy into the front court. No, but Jay Scarborough on the follow. Here's Iverson, and he's going to be fouled at midcourt by Lavelle Smith. It'll be free throws for Iverson.
And you can see right now, every foul is being talked about. Everything's being contested.
And contested fiercely at that as Iverson knocks down the first free throw.
Listen, we've also been all watching March Madness, and probably all those you watch that UConn big comeback on Duke. But I'll tell you what happens is you're seeing those coaches do the same thing. It is intense right now. You're trying to win a national championship.
And the second free throw, no good for Iverson. And this is pretty much the Elite Eight of the ABA. Winner of this goes to the Final Four in Atlanta next week as Park one-hops that one off the rim and in.
That's the hometown roll right there that Park gets off the side of the rim.
And now this one rifled into Iverson. He's going to let the three fly. It's nothing but net. Now John Park gets past to Aconia. Layup won't go. And Tanksley tried to get it out to Williams, but Park flies in for it. Here's Park over to Jay Scarborough, and Tamar Williams is going to pick up the foul.
This is a little bit about the fresh legs that we've been talking about for the Extreme right here. That's why you're seeing Park run all over the court right there, getting the rebounds, making things happen. He's got fresh legs, and he's out there proving it right now on his side of the court.
He's a young, spry guy. John Park as Jay Scarborough at the line. And his free throw is no good. John Park, he's not just young, he's the youngest player on this team. He's 3 months younger than the next closest, Karan Dubois. As you mentioned, Tom, he was a standout at Lakeshore. He was an All-State honorable mention in Class A for basketball in 1 point. And now Scarborough, second free throw, no. Rebound Iverson. Iverson rifling it up into the front court, looking for Tanksley, and he's able to save it. Now back to Iverson. Iverson had it poked away by Jay Scarborough. Here's Scarborough to John Park. Park hangs and finishes with the right.
Boy, Park has been big for the Extreme off the bench, and you can see he's just attacking the rim right now.
Tamar Williams looking to drive against Carruthers, try to kick it out to Goodwin there, and gonna have a foul coming up.
But the defense is taking a new level of intensity right now for the Extreme. You can see challenging every passing lane, making sure their hands are in there. They have really done a great job on the defense.
They get Carruthers on the foul, and now checking into the game for the first time to a hero's welcome, it's Johnny Dombrowski.
And the crowd's going nuts. They were asking for him in the last game. The crowd was chanting for him. He didn't get a chance to come in.
But he's got his chance now, and here is Tamar Williams at the free throw line. He knocks down the first.
And look at Iverson. Iverson's all over him. He ain't gonna let him make a shot.
He knows he's a flamethrower. As the second free throw is good for Tamar Williams. Now up into the front court. Here's Carruthers. Couldn't lay it in. John Park with the rebound. Reverse no. And now it's pulled down by Calvin Goodwin. And Goodwin able to shake away from Park. Now Goodwin being guarded by Dombrowski, fresh in off the bench. Here's Goodwin spinning into the paint, now kicks it Aconia. The triple from the corner, no, but he gets his own miss, and now underneath the basket, counted in a foul for Lenny Aconia.
Boy, what a great job to stay with it. Fouled his shot, made sure he got his own rebounds, and then attacks right there in the rim to get the and one opportunity.
So Aconia with an opportunity for a three-point play. And he completes it. Now another substitution in for the Extreme. Aaron Jones checks in as it looks like a timeout.
They threw the ball away out of bounds, and then right there from the out of bounds, you had a timeout called, and I think we've got right now a 3D play that happens as well right here.
Yep, there we go. That was news to me. The whole 3D rule I had not heard of until tonight.
So the 3D rule is when you do get a transition right there or a steal on the other side of the territory right there, you get an extra point right there added to the points that you're looking to. And it's all done by, if you look at the scorers table, there's kind of a siren. It looks like a fire siren right there, or a cop siren that's sitting on the table. And that is the signal right there that a 3D play is in effect.
So it'll be in effect here out of the timeout. You can see the extreme huddle. Coach Gallo in there drawing up a play. It's the first year at the helm for Coach Ryan Gallo, former D1 player himself, played at St. Bonaventure under head coach Jim Barron.
He's also got a state championship under his belt when he coached at St. Mary's High School here.
Here's the inbound to Tamar Williams. Tried to let it fly, but John Park is there with the rejection. And now Park does it all himself. Turning defense into offense single-handedly, John Park. And now quickly into the front court and a layup for Iverson over the smaller Scarborough.
Yeah, Iverson took advantage of him down in the paint right there.
Here's one thrown ahead to Dombrowski. Dombrowski underneath, he got it.
This place is going nuts.
Here's Goodwin into the front court as John Park goes tumbling to the turf. Or to the floor, I should say.
Boy, you could say Park being one of the MVPs right here of the team, especially the way this third quarter is finishing. This lead has happened because right there of Park and what he's done down in the paint.
That foul will put Calvin Goodwin at the free throw line. He knocks down the first, and Tanksley is coming in to check in.
Tell you, with this lead, you got to think that Colts have got to come out, I think, in the fourth quarter with Daniels.
Chase Daniels, that is, on the bench with 6 fouls. Second free throw won't go, and it's tapped back out to Goodwin. But before that, looks like a foul called.
So both teams in the penalty. That's why we're seeing free throws being shot right now.
Jay Scarborough heading to the free throw line. He's got 6 points. First free throw for Scarborough is off the back iron and no good. And now second free throw. That one goes down for Jay Scarborough. Now right at the, oh man. That's not ideal. He's trying to throw it down the court where the Colts, and they threw it right into our table. We're all good here. It's all good. The monitor might not be so good, but all the humans involved in this broadcast, we're all fine. Looks like reset the clock here. Time expired, but it looks like we're going to add a second perhaps onto the clock.
I also lost my glasses on that play as
Oh,
well.
Shoot.
There they are underneath your chair right there.
Damage. There we go. We're all good. The half-court heave there. And right onto our table. Now we'll be inbounded here. Iverson got to put it up and couldn't get it to go. So that's the end of the third quarter. Time to make the switch to the fourth. Extreme lead, 96-81. Back after this for the start of the fourth here on Western New York Athletics.
choose the twos. Get the help you deserve.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Back here for the start of the fourth quarter in this ABA East Region Championship game between the Hartford Colts and Buffalo Extreme, and the Extreme leading here 96-82. I mentioned at halftime, Tom, that the Colts had outscored the Extreme 29-19 in the second quarter. Well, how about a 41-29 response from the Extreme there in the third? Now they'll follow it up with some defense. Here is Goodwin. Goodwin lofting it in, down low to Iverson. It's poked away from behind by Ivy. Up ahead, Dubois. The starters back in for the Extreme. He hangs in the air, and that one is blocked by Aconia.
Boy, Scarborough fearless. He was taking Iverson right down there, one-on-one matchup down in the paint, and gets the steal with it.
This one floated into Javon McCray. McCray directing traffic, now post up against Iverson. Whips it to the corner, Ivy. The three won't go, and the rebound is secured by Tanksley. Now Goodwin racing up the floor, finds Aconia, maybe thought about it, but thinks better, and he'll dish it out to Goodwin. Goodwin spinning on Scarborough, gets inside, rejected into the stands by McCray.
And McCray gives the look. Where'd the ball go right there as he elevates and knocks that one clear into the crowd.
Here goes Iverson looking to drive, throws up the shot, and he is fouled. I believe McCray is going to pick up that foul.
Hands up! Hands up!
Here's the inbound to Iverson. Now the kick out to Tamar Williams. Aconia, wing triple, no. Aconia wanted a foul there against McCray on the closeout. He stays with the play, gets the steal, and he missed the jam. Oh, Aconia thought he got fouled on the three, then gets up, walks right into a steal, but he missed the dunk. Instead, Dubois dribbling against Aconia on the other end. Thought about the three, now dish to the corner. He was expecting Fagan to stay, but then he started cutting baseline, so those two not on the same page there. Here's Tamar Williams, spins past Dubois, getting into the paint, floater, no. And the loose ball is scooped up by Marcus Fagan. Fagan out to Dubois. He bounces it to Jay Scarborough. Scarborough met at the rim by Aconia, and now it's blocked, last touched by Aconia.
Aconia, nice defense to get back, and you could see his elevation right up there for the block. Great block by him.
Now here's Jay Scarborough to inbound, finding McCray, working against Iverson. McCray gets inside and draws the foul.
I do like what the Extremes do, and you can see they are just attacking the glass. They are doing everything they can to try to get easy buckets in the paint. Keep doing that, especially being the aggressor right now.
The Colts bench wanted a travel called on McCray, not going to get it. So McCray heads to the free throw line, and he'll knock down the first. McCray, second free throw, halfway down and out, but the offensive rebound by Fagan. Gets it to Dubois, gets to the free throw line, kick back out to Fagan. And now Fagan splits through two defenders, into the paint, hangs, couldn't finish. Now a couple players sky in for the rebound, and I believe Fagan now is going to be fouled by Goodwin. And Coach Gonzalez, head in his hands over on the sideline, couldn't believe the call. So Marcus Fagan will head to the free throw line. He's in double digits, got 11.
So I'm saying it's not a shooting foul.
Yep, changed it on the floor. There's the inbound. Scarborough finding Dubois. He'll just pop the triple, and for good reason as he knocks it down. Now here is Goodwin dancing by a screen, gets it to Iverson. Iverson skips it to the wing, Tamar Williams. Tamar Williams on the drive, puts up the jumper from the baseline, and that is pure. Now up into the front court, Marcus Fagan skips it over to Dubois. One dribble pull-up from the mid-range, knocks it down.
Oh boy, he's feeling it right now. You can see he stepped right into his position right there.
There's Iverson, whips this one ahead to Tamar Williams. Williams back to Aconia. Now Aconia hands it off to Goodwin. Back up Williams, he'll get a screen from Iverson. Now Tamar Williams nearly had that one poked away from behind. Instead it's gonna be a foul on Dubois there.
Hawkins trying to get in the game. He's making his own buzzer sound.
And he will come in. Jay Scarborough heading to the bench. And now off the inbound, it's like foul. It'll be called.
Good job by McCray right there. Almost comes up with the big steal.
Knocked out of bounds. Here is Goodwin finding Iverson. The jab step now drives in on McCray, hangs and puts it in.
Nice first step by Iverson. You can see that first step got by McCray, and then he was able to go right to the lane into the basket.
And full court press coming here for Hartford. Here's Dubois, whips it over to the far side of the floor to Ivy. And looks like an 8-second violation there against the Extreme. Couldn't get it across the timeline in a timely manner.
Oh, and it's a 3D play right here.
Here is Karan Iverson. Iverson whips it underneath to Tanksley, who throws it down with two hands.
So that's a 3-point play is what it is. That's 3 points.
Not often you see a 3-point dunk, but there you have it right there. And looks like a timeout was called. With 8:47 left in the final frame. Extreme holding a 102-89 lead. We will take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Choose the twos. Get the help you deserve.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
At Richmond Bona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start.
Back here in the fourth quarter at the X-Gen Sports Complex for this ABA East Region Final between the Hartford Colts and the Buffalo Extreme.
And they were trying to go the other way with it right here, but it's going to be the Buffalo Extreme ball. Tanner, right now, I want you to take a look. The matchup, you got to look right now. Daniels back in the game. McCray Daniels. McCray with his 6 right now. That's the matchup. You got to think if you're the Extreme, you're going to try to go there.
And Ivy is going to drive in on Daniels, and he throws up the shot over him. Won't go, and no foul. And that's something that we have to keep in mind for Hartford. Chase Daniels playing with 6 fouls. And now Daniels will set a screen for Goodwin. He's got to be careful even setting screens at this point. Here's Tamar Williams, and he's going to launch a deep triple. Missed everything, and the rebound falls into the hands of Marcus Fagan. Now Fagan brings it up, trying to bounce it ahead for Hawkins. And Coach Gallo not pleased with that one there. That's not a turnover you'd like to see in the late stages of a game like this. There's Goodwin over to Aconia. Aconia's going to drive in on Fagan, gets to the cup and lays it in with the right.
Now, Aconia's been big for this team here late inside the second half. He's been one of the reasons that this game's even approachable for them right now.
And the Extreme down 11 here. We saw him make a run at the end of the second quarter. Can they replicate that here? Dubois has other ideas. No, but the stick back from Fagan.
And we talked about his rebounding prowess. He does it again right there for the offensive rebound.
Here's Goodwin. His pass is deflected up into the air and stolen by Dubois. Whips it ahead. Fagan thought about the three, but he'll hold on to it here and get him into a more deliberate set. Now he gets it back on the kick out for three. No offensive rebound. Putback attempt won't go. And here's Tamar Williams racing up the floor. Williams spinning. Kicks it out. Goodwin. Goodwin over to Aconia. Aconia pump fakes. And now he'll swing it back over to Goodwin at the point. Gets the screen from Chase Daniels. They switch it. Goodwin looking to drive in on Hawkins. Right-handed layup. It falls. Here is Hawkins finding Dubois. And he walks into the mid-range. Now working against Daniels, and he finishes in the paint.
And he went and attacked Daniels. Daniels doing a good job of making sure he's not picking up that last foul, though.
Now Daniels swings it to Aconia for three, and he's got an answer.
Boy, every time you think it's over, here it is. A team answers in both sides of the court. And I was just about to say I felt Park needed to get back into this game, and guess who's about to check in?
And a turnover forced here by Hartford. Here comes Tanksley. Kick to Tamar Williams. Spots up on the wing and buries the triple. And it's 7 now. The lead for the Buffalo Extreme as the Hartford Colts trying to make some inroads here late. Ivy splits through a double team, gets into the paint at the elbow, dishes it to McCray. It's broken up and stolen once again by Hartford. Tamar Williams up ahead. Calvin Goodwin, layup, yes. And a timeout is going to be called here by the Extreme. Wisely done by head coach Ryan Gallo as the Colts starting to get on a run. And Tom, that's a point you brought up earlier. This Colts team, when they get on a run, they're like a freight train. Once they get that inertia built up, they're hard to stop.
And every time they've gone on a run, it's been because of their defense. It's been steals and then transition buckets is what it's been. And you could see exactly right there. You get the steal, they couldn't get the ball down into McCray for the Extreme. They get the steal, it goes down low, and then boom, there's points on the other end. Thank you.
Starting to chip away at this lead. It was double digits. Now they've got it down to 5 here. This fourth quarter.
16, wasn't it? It was just 16
so.
is what
Yeah.
I just think it was, and now you've got it down to a 5-point game.
Very similar to what they did at the end of the second quarter. We'll see how they respond out of the timeout here. Coach Gallo calling it, trying to stop the bleeding here for the Extreme. And it'll be their ball here out of the timeout. Ivy lofts it into the front court to Fagan, now into the corner. Looks like that's Lavelle Smith, and Smith lost it. Out of bounds, so it'll be Hartford ball, down 5. Tamar Williams being guarded by Ivy. Gets it across the timeline. Now Williams looking to dance, gives it up to Chase Daniels as John Park has checked into the game for the Extreme. Daniels gets into the paint and finishes.
And he wanted that one. You saw the minute the ball got into his hands, he was going to go into the paint and challenge Park down low, and he did exactly that.
And now John Park handling the ball on the other end. Over to Lavelle Smith, now bounce to the corner. Fagan directing traffic here. And gets to the elbow, now spins inside. Aconia goes upstairs with the rejection. Now here is Rogers. And the Extreme here, or excuse me, the Colts can tie or cut the lead down to 1. A couple shot attempts for Rogers there, won't fall. Now here's Ivy back the other way. The lob for Park, swings it back, and there's a flush for Rodney Hawkins.
What a great job, I'll tell you right there. Hawkins made sure he stays with it right there, puts that one down.
Here's Daniels, his pass batted back in his face. Now Daniels fakes the pass, gets into the paint, puts up the shot, and it goes. Circus shot there for Chase Daniels. Now here's Park, quickly up into the front court. Park meets Daniels, he spins into the paint, spins through, layup won't go, and he's fouled. I believe they got a Konya for the foul. That'll put John Park at the line in the three-point game.
Now the question becomes, if you're the Extreme, how much longer can you leave McCray on the bench? To me, McCray's got to get back into this game shortly. You need him down low. This is that big lineup, and Acuna's playing huge right now down low.
John Park, first free throw is good. And John Park looking back at Ivy there, doing the zip your lip motion. Seeing technicals, a bevy of them were thrown out in the third. Not so much the case here in the fourth. Now Park, the free throw is good. Here's Goodwin, gets a screen, now dishes to Daniels, spinning inside on Hawkins, goes up with the right hand, Hawkins no, and the follow, it's knocked out of bounds. I believe it went off the foot of Tanksley. And it did indeed, it'll be Extreme ball, but a timeout is called with 3:53. We'll take a timeout as well, back after this. Oh, no, we'll keep it right here.
Hold on, they're talking about something right now. Okay, they're going to give it to them. They wanted to be able to address whether that timeout could be called right now. That's what they're over there talking about.
The timeout is awarded, no less. So now we'll send it to break. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company. Great.
Back here at the XGen Sports Complex in Western New York, fourth quarter, a tight game. The Colts have trailed for essentially the entirety of this game, and we're down double digits here in this fourth quarter, but have trimmed it down to single digits and now are just trying to find that extra little bit. And there's McCray back into the game, Tom. As you mentioned before the break, they needed to get him back in there. And he'll get a touch. McCray gives it up to John Ivy. Ivy around a screen into the paint at the end of the shot clock. No, McCray couldn't get the follow, and now he gets tied up down low. It looks like a foul called. Hartford wanted a jump ball.
Saying they pulled his arm down is what they're doing on that one. I got to be honest with you, the one thing I am shocked at right now the Extreme has not done, a one-on-one matchup with McCray right now down low with Daniels. See if Daniels can bang down low and pick up that last foul. That's one thing I'm going to be looking if I'm him. If you're going to see those two match up, that's something McCray's got to take advantage of.
And McCray, something else he's taken advantage of in this game is free throws, and he knocks down the first right there. Jay Scarborough comes back into the game. Hawkins will head to the bench. Second free throw, McCray, it's good.
Boy, he's been great from the free throw line, I'll tell you that. When you got a big that could be that dangerous also from the line to make sure you put up points, you become that much better of a team.
Clock winding down. Here's Iverson finding Aconia. They get it down low in the post to Daniels. He's been doing work here in this fourth quarter. Tried to dish it to Tanksley at the last second, and now a foul called, and that's going to be it for Daniels, I believe.
That will be it right there.
Assuming the game doesn't go to overtime, because if it goes to overtime, then essentially it's a clean slate for everybody, but you only get 2 fouls in OT before you get tossed. But for now, as long as this game ends in regulation, we've seen the last of Chase Daniels for the Colts.
And he really has been big right now for that team. And I thought he really played well with that 6 fouls out there on the court as well. But the Extreme's got to take advantage of it. You're going to see right now. Now you look at the matchup, McCray and Iverson down low.
Here's one that's whipped over to the corner, Park, and Park lost it, gets it back in the paint, puts it off the iron with the right hand. But his right-hand man, Javon McCray, is there for the follow.
And that's really his specialty. He's done it first quarter, and he's done it big in the third quarter, and now when they need him the most here in the fourth.
Tamar Williams rises up for the jumper over Park. It won't fall, and McCray snatches that rebound, and then there, talk about a punt. Iverson just sent that ball out of bounds off his foot. Ivy getting it into Jay Scarborough to Fagan, bouncing it to Javon McCray. McCray directing traffic, now shovels it off to Jay Scarborough. And a timeout was called by the Extreme as the lead has ballooned back up to 9 for them. And while we have the timeout, we'll step away as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
I choose this MOS because I like to work on things, have hands-on.
Track is very important to the Army because it's a very versatile and just modular platform. There's several different variants, and that allows this one vehicle to do several different missions, and it's very important to support just the light infantry and their mission.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals, if you put your trust in.
Back out of the timeout here in the X-Gen Sports Complex here in Western New York. It's the ABA East Regional Final between the Buffalo Extreme and the Hartford Colts. Colts had cut it down to 5 points at one point here in the fourth quarter. The deficit, that is, but now it's ballooned back up for the Extreme, and looking to add to it is Jay Scarborough, the reverse. Couldn't quite finish. Had a nice Euro step to get to the lane, had everything but the finish. Here's Iverson, gets it into Tamar Williams. And Williams dribbles it into the front court, gets into the paint. That one is rejected by McCray, but stays in possession of the Colts. Here's Iverson, step back three, no. And the rebound tapped out by Aconia into the hands of Park. Park to Ivy. And Ivy will just pull it back out towards midcourt and slow it down here. Ivy spinning past Goodwin. Now Ivy leaves it for Park, and Park gets the fortuitous bounce.
Wow, what a pass right there by Ivy when he gets into the paint. When you penetrate into the paint like that, things happen, and what a pass when you did.
On the other end, Aconia hangs and gets a shooter's bounce of his own. Here's Park in the backcourt, leaves it for Scarborough. Now Jay Scarborough with numbers back the other way. Fagan, it's blocked by Iverson, but Fagan stays with it, couldn't finish. Now the rebound being tapped around, and Iverson gets tied up. And Iverson just spiked the ball, and I believe he just got teed up.
I think he got poked because he's holding his eyes right there. I think he got poked, and that was the reason that he spiked that ball.
Yep. And it was indeed a tech on Iverson.
You better watch. He's because he was just yelling at the ref. Ref turn around there. They don't tee him up again.
And Iverson still trying to plead his case to no avail. This will put John Ivey at the free throw line. He's got 17 on the day, does the 34-year-old veteran. Ivey averaged 18 points per game last season to go along with 7 assists per game. He was an ABA All-Star last year, and he knocks down the first free throw. Ivey, second free throw is good. So a costly technical there against Iverson, who's still talking to one of the officials over on the far side, but now play resumes here. This is Goodwin getting a screen from Aconia. And Goodwin steps back, now whips this one to Tamar Williams. He lets the three fly. That one off the side of the rim, but the offensive rebound pulled down by Tanksley, although it was ripped away. And now it's in the hands of Jay Scarborough. Scarborough finds Fagan.
They thought Scarborough went over and back right there.
Yep. Here's John Ivey, and this crowd is lively. Ivey into the paint, hangs, couldn't finish, and the tip is good for Marcus Fagan. Now quickly back up the floor. Goodwin, stop and pop triple, he answers. Now on the other end, this one thrown up, it won't go. Rebound Iverson. As under 10 seconds left, Iverson dribbles it into the front court, whips it underneath, stolen by McCray. Up ahead to Jay Scarborough. Scarborough lays it in at the horn. And that is it. The Buffalo Extreme are on to the Final Four in Atlanta with a 122-110 win over the Hartford Colts in the ABA East Region Championship.
And for those of you Buffalo Extreme fans, we are going to do some post-game interviews right here. Take a look on the Western New York Athletics social media platforms as we'll get a chance to talk to our players of the game and Coach Ryan Gallo.
And methinks one of them might be Javon McCray. He led the Extreme with 25 points tonight. And we've grown accustomed to seeing that from him this season. And John Park finishes with 20 points of his own. And those two propel the Extreme to victory here. And as I mentioned, they're on to Atlanta next week for the Final Four. So congratulations to the Buffalo Extreme. Moving on, and hats off to the Hartford Colts. Their inaugural season, nothing to hang their hat on. They're gonna finish 17-3. Not bad for your inaugural season, and plenty to look forward to in their future as a franchise. But for now, that'll do it for us. For everybody in our broadcast crew, including our cameraman Russ Battaglia, our on-site technical producer Heidi Gunther, and my color man Tom Prince, this is Tanner Saunders saying thank you for listening to this presentation of the ABA East Region Championship. Again, congratulations to the Buffalo Extreme. They are your victors, 122-110. We'll see you next time on Western New York Athletics.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that.